Crees, and today we're at the lovely Buckmore Park circuit for the Junior Race of Champions, and it's going to be a great fun day today. Track's looking dry at the moment, so hopefully some good racing. Haven't been here for ages, and this is my first outdoor race in I think 3-4 months, so it's been quite a while, and it's been a long time since I've driven these R10 karts, so it's going to be nice getting back into it, and yeah, can't wait for it.
Yes! I stole the camera!
Because you're holding it sideways!
Do you like it this way? That way fast. Hi Henry! It's clean! Who else? We've got Ellis. This is mine now. I've stolen this from Ben. This is mine! We've got some guy in the lead, and if you see all the way back there is second to last, you've got Rory Hamilton. Yikes! Wow! Look at him. Bye bye.
So here we are at Buckmore Park, going out for my practice session. This is before all the heats and stuff like that start, so just get used to the track conditions and get used to these karts once again. As we see, we're already making an overtake. Only a few corners into the lap. Oh no, but Zhao holds it around the outside, so we actually don't make that overtake stick. Now going into the first corner, it's quite greasy here still, and Henry just flies off. Now, skipping forwards a bit, you see the camera sort of tilted down quite a lot from going over the bumps. So I think at some point in this session I'll tilt it back up. But we've got a slipstream on Zhao. Might be able to make an overtake into the first corner, and yes, there we go. Down the inside we go, into the first corner. As you see, if you're just on that outside line for the first corner, it's just very slippery, and that's already the end of that practice session. And we're going to go straight into heat number 1, which is actually a random grid, so that should make things quite interesting. So, going up to the grid, I think I'm starting like, 4th place. That's pretty good, you know. But I'm on the outside, which is not good. So, rolling start, and lights out, and away we go. Going into first corner, for some reason I take the outside line, which is a very bad idea. I get podded off wide, now I go into the wet stuff on the outside, and I lose many places. Must be like 8th place now. Or another place lost. This has been a very bad start for me. Now, trying to send one back up the inside. Might be able to make one overtake. There we go, made up a few places back, but we're still net loss, which is very bad. Going for a nice overtake down into Simon Sweep. Lovely move. And let's see if we can catch these guys in front. So number 10 kart, and we see William just goes flying off there. It just shows how slippy the outside line is there. And we're going to try and find a way past this number 10 kart. Going up to guard, there might be an opportunity, so we're going to send it down the inside. A little bit of contact, but I think we're fine because it's 50%. Now, behind Henry, and we're going to try and find a way past him. As there's a bit of contact up in front, I'm going to give Henry a little bump draft going up the straight, and giving him a little bit of a bump draft, and we're going to make that overtake stick. But then again, I go to the outside for some reason. Oh, Zhao's still on my inside, so I'm trying to hold him off, but he's back on my inside. Try and pull off a nice switch back here, but he covers it off really nicely. Not much I could do there. Now, Zhao's going to go up the inside into the S's, and I'm going to go round the outside of Henry into Simon Sweep, understeer central there, but he's got the inside for this corner, so I'm going to let him back through. I get hit from behind here and actually go flying up into the air, and that number 10 kart pushes me a bit wide, and I'm going to lose 2 positions in one corner now. Back behind Will, he goes up the inside of number 10, and I'm going to get a lovely exit, and I'm going to overtake Will and almost get past number 10 again. But we see all this battling is just meaning we're going further and further back. So I'm going to send another move. He defends a little bit, but and then down the inside for Garda. Now I'm going to try and catch up with the guys in front. So Henry's kart was very slow. Number 2 was a very bad kart, as you just see here. I mean, it did have slipstream as well, but look, I just breezed past them. I was at least like half a second back going down that straight. Now, this is going to be one of the last. These are the last few laps of this race. I think this is like for 3rd place or so, because Ellis is in front and he's just gone. Down the inside of Oliver, and then they both go really wide, so I might be able to get the switch back on all of them. Right, they're going to have the inside line now. And then, oh no, I'm on the really slippy stuff on the outside, and I lose that position to Henry, who I overtook just a minute ago. Now, more battling even now. Zhao runs very wide onto the red. Oliver Borg's at the front of this train at the moment. I'm going to try and sneak past some of these drivers here. I'm going to give Zhao a little bump draft, but not able to follow him through on that move. It's the final lap of this first heat. Going into first corner, trying to make a move. Henry's going to go down the inside of Zhao. He defends, so I'm going to try and pull off a switchback here, which almost works. But then now I'm on the outside for the hairpin too, so I'm going to try a double switchback, which again almost works. Going to give Zhao a little bump draft. Again, I'm on the outside going into time sweep, but I'm going to have to let him through. So I have to take a little lift, otherwise it's going to be death. So now going up towards Garda, trying to find a way past these other drivers in front of me. I'm going to try and pull off a switchback here, but again Henry holds it off quite nicely. Trying to maximise my speed going onto this straight. I know Henry's got a slow car, so I'm going to give him a little bump so we can try and find a way past the guys in front. And he almost does it, but that's going to be, I think, P5 or P6 in that first heat. And here I was a bit of a muppet and put it on time lapse, and I only realised about 30 seconds into filming, so listen to Borg's interview.
And then I somehow still got past him, and he was like a second ahead. It's just because he's bad. And this guy. And I binned him off on the first lap. But like, you know, re-roll.
You punted me off as well. You should have gone on the black flag. Could be world's dirtiest race.
Today on world's dirtiest race on the
So that was heat 1, pretty good race. Could improve a bit, had a really bad start as it was really slippy on the outside, sort of dampened a few areas, like hairpin 2, I tried to go for a switchback, didn't really work.
It didn't work.
And now I've got heat 2.
He's got heat 2.
So I try and make up lots of positions, and yeah, should be great.
Hello guys, my name is Benjamin Hamilton, ready to pod some kids off. Junior driver of the year for Buckmore.
Hi guys! I'm gonna win!
So, starting heat 2 from middle of the pack-ish, and lights go out and away we go. Going down into the first corner, let's see if we can make up any places. But once again I'm on the outside, so it's going to be tricky to try and make up any. Trying to hold one round the outside, but the guy in front of me is going to have a big slide on, and that's going to really compromise my exit speed. Again, going down the inside on hairpin 2. Trying to get past Will, and we actually do because he gets held up by the guys in front. Now following Oliver, see if we can follow him through on this move down the inside. Sadly we just can't quite make the move stick. Now going quite defensive, and Will just sends it round the outside into paddock. That was a great move, but we immediately send another dive ball on him, get that place back. That was a great move from Will actually. I have no idea how he really pulled that off. I guess I overslowed the car. Anyway, going down the main straight, following kart number 3, trying to find way past. Later in that lap, giving number 3 nice bump drive going down the straight, and now Oliver Borg doesn't see him, and I'm going to go up the inside, going down the straight. He's going to try to hold it around the outside, but once again he will fly off because it's so slippery on the outside. Now Oliver's going a bit defensive. I'm going to try and fly way past him quite quickly. I want to get up to the front in this race. He's going to go down the inside of number 7, which is going to mean I'm going to get a good exit on him. And I'm going to send one up the inside, but he's going to get me back, and I'm going to stay in that position. Now, seems to be a lot of battling up in front. Maybe I can make an overtake, and I do. Going round the outside, into the S's, and that's going to be a lovely move. And see if we can make any more up. Following kart number 2, who's behind Oliver. Oliver's doing some defending, and I accidentally leave the door open there, which is not great at all. Didn't realise those guys were right behind me, but I'm going to go up the inside of Henry here. He gets a slightly better exit, but I'm going to make sure to keep the move on. I'm going to go up the inside of him. He's going to have the inside for this next corner, so I've got to leave him room. But I just got to make sure that I make sure my steering is as smooth as possible, and I keep the position, and that's a nice move. See if we can get past kart number 2 now. And I actually got stuck behind kart 2 for a while, and that's going to let Zhao back past, who we overtook earlier in this race. And he gets held up there, so I might be able to get up the inside of him, and he's going to get held up on the inside there, but he's going to get back past us. And there's another driver, that's Henry. He goes back past us as well, so not a great lap for me so far, but I might be able to gain some places back. So Henry's going to go down the inside of Oliver Borg, and I'm going to be able to follow him through on that, and I'm going to give him a little bump draft down the straight. Now he's behind kart 2. Henry's going to try and pull off a switch, but he hits the curb and he just goes flying off, because the curb's still quite wet. And that's another position made. Now following kart 2, which we know is a slow kart, so we're going to try and hold one around the outside. But sadly we go too wide. We're going to lose a position once again to Henry. But we get a better exit going towards Garda, so we might be able to send one down the inside, and we do. Lovely move up the inside that. But now he's got the inside line for that corner. Make sure to give him room, but once again, making sure to open up the steering as much as we can. And we're just going to get him over the line here, and that is heat 2 over and done with. And we're going to go straight into qualifying for the final. So, going out for the qualifying for our final, have to make sure this car gets up to temperature nice and quickly, as it's only, I think, a 5-minute quali. So really have to get up to temperature as fast as possibly can. And now going straight into a fast lap. So into turn 1, little lift, as it's still a little bit damp. Letting the kart slide a little bit to the outside. Braking in the dip, turning in that big dip. Just clipping that curb on the inside, running it nice and wide onto the red. Turning that big lift. And then run it nice and wide on the exit, try and conserve that speed. Nice and smooth through here, big bump there on the apex. And then flat all the way through side sweep. Big lift going into here. Using all that curb on the left, tap the brake going through here. Really early on the throttle there. Going up towards Garda, just tap the brake. And then flat as soon as you can. And then flat through centre, and then going up towards cafe curb, just trying to be as smooth as you can. Just clipping that curve inside and running it nice and wide on the exit, and that's a fast lap round Buckmore Park. And that put me on pole position for the final. So, great lap from me. And yeah, we're going to start this race straight away. So, starting on pole position, rolling up towards the line, and it's green flag, and away we go. Going towards turn 1. Making sure to hold our position, going slightly defensive, but obviously not too much. On the first 2 laps, it's really important to not really look behind you and just try and focus on getting a good gap from the guys behind. Otherwise, they get the slipstream and it just becomes really tough to stay in front. Slipstream matters a lot around Buckmore Park, as it's a very fast circuit, especially going down here and going up towards Cafe. Slipstream's probably half a second, I would say. So really just trying to make sure these first 2 laps are rapid, so we keep a gap. But it is a long race, so anything can happen. It's a half-an-hour race, sort of like an Enduro race, if you like. So yeah, a lot can happen. So obviously I don't want to go defensive. I want to try and not go defensive for as long as I can, because even if someone overtakes me, I'll be able to see where I'm slower, where I'm quicker, and then try and get back past them, which you'll probably see later in the video. So again, second lap, not needing to go defensive, just trying to go as fast as I can. Just sort of tiny left through there as the tyres hadn't heated up properly. It probably takes like 2 laps or so for the tyres to heat up properly in these karts. Yeah, holding the lead quite nicely here, in front of I think like an 18 kart strong grid for the junior driver of the year. And yeah, holding P1, and we actually held on to this P1 for I think 15 minutes or so. It was a long time, 10-15 minutes. But you're about to see, I get absolutely sent down the inside into paddock by Jasper, and I'm going to try and come back at him, but it's not quite going to work. But now I've got the slipstream, and it looks like someone else is down the inside of me on Cafe Curve, but I've got the inside going into here, so it looks like I got a lot of understeer or something there. But Daniel went back down the inside of me, so nice switchback going down the straight there. And I'm just going to follow him around, like I said. He seems to really flick the kart there, going into hairpin 2. He had a lot of oversteer. But I think the main thing I found, especially from looking back at this footage, is that hairpin 2 I was running it too wide. And I think in my head I was thinking, well, if I run wide it will mean more speed going down the straight. But it seemed to just not help. It could also be the kart being a bit slower on the exit, but I feel like it was just me running a bit too wide on the exit. But now look at the slipstream, look. In the slipstream, look, I would just close right back up to the front, the back of his kart. The front, the back of his kart. Made sure to leave a little gap going into the first corner. Make sure not to do any loading or anything like that. Not really able to just switch back as he isn't defending. I'm just going to follow him around because we seem to be catching Jasper a little bit. As you see there, again, I run it too wide on the exit, so need to make sure to go a bit tighter on that exit there. Going down the hill once again, and we're going to skip forwards a little bit, as we're right behind Daniel, who's right behind Jasper, and he's going to sort of half defend while we're going, and we just send it up the inside because he runs a bit too wide. But Daniel's going to come back out as at that same lap, and we're going to go back to third place. And all this is meaning that Jasper's getting in front, so Daniel knows that, and he really wants to catch up with. And we come from a long way back and we send a dive bomb into Garda. Lovely overtake that is. And we're into second place for this race. That rhymed. And now we're going to just try and catch up to Jasper as much as we can. Going to put the burners on. And we also want to get a little bit of breathing room from Daniel, because I know that he will just send one up the inside if I am too slow. So, slowly catching up to Jasper there. Again, now I'm in the slipstream, which will also help. Look at that! I think maybe his kart could have a straight line problem, but you just saw how much I closed up there. But that slipstream going down that straight is insane. And going up towards Garda, he covers off a potential overtake. And once again, we're going to have the slipstream going up here. And you just look at this. Really just close up to the back of him. But I've also got Daniel pushing me from behind, which is also going to help. But again, right behind Jasper. Going to the outside, trying to pull off a potential switchback. I can actually do the switchback round turn 1 now because it's sort of dry. Again, trying to pull off a switchback. Stay to the inside, go to the outside at the last minute. And then try and get a switchback. But he covers it off very nicely. So there's no real chance of me going up the inside there. Once again, little bump draft going down the straight. Trying to find a way past down this bottom of the circuit, but he seems very fast there. But he seems to maximise the speed going into that corner. I maximise it on the way out. So that's why I think I'm able to do lots of moves going up towards Garda, because I really maximise the speed going up that little hill. Now, going up towards Garda a few laps later. Daniel goes up the inside while I'm trying to pull off a switchback. But I've got the inside now for this corner, but as I hit the curb, the kart slowed down quite a fair bit and I lost some speed. So now I'm going to give Daniel a little bump to help going down the straight. Because it's just the slipstream at Buckmore Park is so powerful. So if you're bumping someone from behind, you can easily catch up with the guy in first. Even if we're sort of battling like me and Daniel are right now. Again, needs to really focus on that exit. Really going a bit too wide there. Going down the hill once again. Have that slipstream. Flicking it into the left. And Daniel takes a lot of curb going on that corner there. I think that's Pullman's. And he's going to go for a massive send going into Garda. Insane move that. Did not see that one coming. And now, trying to help Jasper go past, give him a little bump, and now I know I'm going to give Daniel a little bump, which means I get the run on Jasper. That happens a lot, I find, at Buckmore, where you're sort of just picking who to bump draft going down the straight, and then you can make moves like that. And we're going to skip forwards in just a second to see where we are in a few laps' time, seeing if we can find a way past Daniel. Right behind him, again focusing on that exit speed. He knows it, and he's going to go very defensive into Garda, but I'm going to try and maximise my exit speed, and we almost get past him there. But once again, Jasper goes for a lovely move up the inside there. Done the same sort of move before at the start of the race. Well, not start, but like 10 minutes in. And now I'm going to follow him and bump draft him, try and catch up to Daniel, who has a significant lead now. I'd say there's about 2 seconds or so. And remember, this is all happening over like half an hour. So it's incredible how it's still this close after so long. I think in the end we're only separated by a few thousandths of lap times, which is crazy. And a lap or so later, Jasper and me have caught up to Daniel, and he's going to go down the inside at a hairpin 1, and that might mean I might be able to get a move done, but no, Daniel's going to go defensive going into there. I think maybe he thought about going down the inside of him there, but he just wasn't close enough. Going down the hill once again. He takes a lot of curb at Simon Sweep there, and a lot of curb here. To really, I think the more you use the curb, it really helps the cart, like, pull the cart around the corner. Because if you sort of miss the curb, it means the cart just doesn't really stick to the circuit, it just sort of slides around. And I'm getting a lovely run on Daniel while I was yapping. And that's going to be second place now. And we're following Jasper, seeing if we can get past him at all. Setting myself up for a switchback. But it's so hard to do a switchback here at Buckmore because you have that second hairpin which they will have the inside of. Even if you've got a lovely switchback in hairpin 1, you'll have to get an insane exit to keep the move. Following Jasper, going down here. Not really sure. Look, watch. He gains a lot of time into the corner, but then I gain a lot of time out the corner, which means I could just pull up alongside him and try and set myself up for a lovely switchback. That is a great switchback, actually. And now I'm going to make sure to open up my steering, and wow, there we go. In the space of about a lap, made up the 2 positions, and I'm back into first place. But I expect this won't be for long. A few laps later, Jasper goes for another move down the inside, and I just have to move out the way at the last second. Really caught me by surprise, that one, because I thought I pulled out a gap, but as I said, the slipstream is very powerful here at Buckmore, so it's really hard to pull out a gap and stay in front for long. Following Daniel, hopefully we can retaliate, and I thought about going around the outside going into turn 1, but I sort of remembered halfway through the corner. And Daniel goes down the inside while I was talking, and I might be able to get a switchback on Jasper, but he's got the inside now for hairpin 2. I'm going to try go for a switchback there, and we actually get a lovely exit going into the S's. Might be able to hold this position, and I do. That's a position gained back into P2, and see if we can catch up to Daniel now in the last few laps of this race. And oh my god, yeah, look, it is the last lap of this half-an-hour race. It's gone back past so fast. And now going into turn 2, hairpin 1. I'm going to try and pull off a switchback, but Daniel knows it's the last lap and he's going to defend with all his might. And that might be Jasper at the inside, and yes it is, Jasper's up the inside of us. So we're back down into third place. And it's just crazy how there's been so many position changes in half an hour, and how it's this close after half an hour. You have to remember that. Jasper's going to go for an insane move down the inside into paddock. And I see there's an opportunity to go down the inside. It's the last lap, and I go for a huge dive bomb into Garda. But Daniel's going to get a lovely switchback. And Jasper's still my inside, so I'm going to make sure to open up the steering. And Daniel's celebrating it. Oh no, I might be able to get this over the line. And I just miss out. So close there. Another lap and it could have all been changed once again. Super close racing there. And wow, yeah, great racing here. And I actually ended up coming P3 in the Junior Driver of the Year. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.